Kyle Gilbert. Welcome to my live call tonight in my gym with a question. Do you overthink this business? So how do we know if we do overthink it? Well, let me ask you this. How long have you been in your company? You can write it down in the comments if you want. How many years? How many months? Let me ask you this. Have you filled out a prospect list without prejudice and without exemption? In other words, you're not exempting anyone. Anyone you know, you're putting them on that list. Have you done that? And have you been to all the trainings of your upline and you still don't have a downline yet? Then it's very possible you could be overthinking this. You know, for some people, the problem is education. Think about it. Some people, they went through education before they got into network marketing. They got a degree, spent years studying, not making any money while they're studying, right? You don't get paid while you study. But spent all that study time, frustration, and money, the cost of education, went through all that just to get a degree, just to go to a company and say, I got a degree, will you hire me? And then they pay them what they pay them, plus they got to pay off their education, right? And as they're earning that money, then they come into your company. And then they meet the 6-7-figure earners at your conventions. And many of them didn't get past high school, like me. And they're like, wait a second. Do you know what I went through? Now, this is what they're thinking, okay? Do you know what I went through? All the studying I did, all the just dedication into school, just to graduate, to get a degree, and all the expense, and I'm being paid what I'm being paid, and that guy is making twice what I'm earning, or it could be even 10 times what I'm earning. Then they think, well, then there must be something to this. There must be some secret. There must be a formula. That's overthinking it. And a lot of educated people do that. They do that. And so we call that, just analysis paralysis, right? That's the problem. Analysis paralysis. They analyze it to the extent that they paralyze any action that they take. And remember, success loves speed, right? So it's no wonder when you look at in the United States that the people with most of the money are not the educated people. It's really true. It's not just our profession, it's all professions. They are the entrepreneurs. They are the people that create things. They create companies. They create inventions. They create. That's what they do. So the thing is, but the people that spend their time and they focus on knowledge and education and, getting a PhD and whatever, they're not the ones with the money. And don't get me wrong on this. I'm not saying anything against education. I think education is great. I'm not saying money's everything. I'm not. I'm saying there's a difference between the two. That's all. There's a difference between the two. And it's the process that people go through in network marketing when they've had a lot of education. Those people struggle with making this more difficult, overthinking it, or having analysis paralysis. Those are the ones, because these people, they're going to try to imagine, and here's the others. No, it's not just them. This is true for others too. And this goes back to ego, by the way. This goes back to ego. You'll have people join that try to imagine every scenario they could possibly encounter with a prospect, and they want to have the answer for that scenario. So they imagine every question you possibly can imagine, and then they try to say, okay, so what's the answer? And they're going to research it, or they're going to try to find the answer. But that's where they spend so much of their mental energy and time. Because why? Because they don't want to look stupid. They don't want to look stupid. I want you to remember this. You cannot do this and look good at the same time. You cannot do this and look good at the same time. When you get started in this, you're not so good. You go from not so good to, good. And you work your way through that process. And then good becomes great. Great becomes awesome. But just understand, everybody starts that way. You earn as you learn, and how you learn is by doing it, not learning it. Please get that in your head. You earn as you learn, and you learn by doing it, not studying it, not learning it. It's like football. You could get and read a book on American football. I'm not talking about soccer for those of you in Asia, okay? But you could get a book and study football, right? You could even watch YouTube videos or watch the games on TV. Is it the same as getting out on the field? Or is getting out on the field a totally different experience, because there you have to do it. There you have to, and that's how you learn it. How do you become great at it? Knowing it or doing it? Doing it. That's right. And that's why stadiums get packed out, because people want to watch the people who do it, not people who study it. Now, the people in the stadium are studying it. Oh, they're experts on it all. They got all their opinions. It's amazing. I get cracked up about, some people that are they don't take care of their health and all that. They're so overweight and all that, but they're such experts on football and what these guys should be doing. I'm like, why don't you get on the field, man? I mean, you need to walk. You need to do something. You need to lose some weight. So again, you earn as you learn, and you learn by doing it, not learning it, not by studying it. In fact, here's the thing. You're more believable when you don't look so good, because you're authentic and you're vulnerable. People can see themselves in you. Think about that. That's powerful. And I've seen some people who show up like that, and they just do it like that. They just do it. They're not worried about how they look, how they sound, how they come across. They just do it. When you come across intelligent and clever, you're not relatable. People can't relate to you. So don't be the one that's waiting to be the expert. So if your company has 75 products, are you spending a lot of time trying to understand most of those products, analyze the categories, and what are the products that best support that category? The problem is when you try to explain that to prospects, it totally blows them out because complexity is the enemy of duplication, right? And if it's complex, people don't want to duplicate it. They think, "Wow, man, you're intelligent, man. You know your products, but I could never do that. I could never say what you say." That's what they're thinking in their head. And they don't go further with it. Here's what I want you to do to simplify it is understand this. Every company should have a flagship product if they're smart. If they're smart, they have that, okay? What is your flagship product? If you don't know, ask your upline, what is your number one, possibly number two, because sometimes the number two product also works hand in hand with the number one product. So I know I was in a company like that in the early 90s, and it both went together. For example, one was a cleansing tea, the other was a weight loss product, okay? It was called Power Trim. Anyway, and so, I mean, we crushed it with those products back then. But your company should have a flagship product. So ask your upline, what is our number one, number two most sold product? Because whatever is most sold, that is telling you that the market out there, the people out there, those are the products they're most interested in as compared to the other products that you carry. And if your upline doesn't know, then call your company because your company will know. Then call your upline and train them, okay? Train them so that they know. Anyway, that's your flagship. When you talk about your product story, your company's product story, that is the story. Whatever your flagship product is, that is the story. So, in a very simple way, without being scientific or coming across clever, talk about your story, but talk about it from the heart, not the head. But don't be a charismatic person, okay? The next thing you know, they're going to think, wow, they're going to be wrestling with snakes yet? I mean, so don't, but know your lead product and know how to share the story about it in a very short, see if you can do it in a minute. I was in the sauna, I'm thirsty. Anyway, so remember this, and just remember this. You need to lead with your heart, not your head. Because when you lead with your head, when you're presenting, when you're talking to people, that's ego. When you lead with your heart, that is you. That is you. And that's the most important thing you can sell. Which is, again, the reason why you don't need to overthink it. Because whatever comes out of your heart is going to be very spontaneous. It's going to be, or instantaneous. Because that's just you. That's authentic. The way you're showing up. So what comes out of the mind is ego, but what comes out of the heart is you. Remember this, again, complexity is the enemy of duplication. So the more you know, the greater the temptation is to talk about it. I'm not saying you should be an ignorant person. What I'm saying is don't spend your time studying and researching everything about the products that your company carries. Know your lead product, know your flagship product. They're going to get to know the rest when they go to the website. They'll read about it, or if there's an online catalog or whatever, they're gonna go through that and find that out on their own. So let them do that. But how you duplicate is by not making it complicated in the way you talk about your lead product. And you need to teach your leaders to do the same, because they're going to complicate it. They're going to overthink it. So here's another reason for overthinking, and that is comparing yourself to others. It's another thing. Don't do it. Don't do it, because you're never going to know the true story. It's frustrating when you're in a company, could be for years, let's say, you go to convention and then you see Miss Wonderful. Miss Wonderful just joined the company 6 months ago. Oh my gosh. She's already went through and blown through 4 ranks. She's on stage getting an award, and Seems like everybody's talking about her. And then you're overthinking it, thinking, oh my God, man, what has she got that I don't have? She's not any better looking than me. She's young, I'm young. She's this, I'm this. She's that, I'm that. I mean, come on. This is not fair. What is her sauce? What is her sauce? There is no sauce. She probably brought in a downline from another company because she was in another company before she joined your company. That happens a lot. And if they kept those relationships strong through the years, you can do that. That can happen. It's not duplicatable. Now, it doesn't happen all the time. It doesn't happen often. It doesn't. But it does happen. And I can tell you another story. I remember one time, Business from Home, you know, Ted out of the Netherlands, he's got that online magazine. And anyway, so he did an article one time about a couple that joined this company, and their very first month they did $1 million. I'm saying they earned $1 million US, their first month. And he said, I guess that's network marketing. It was the most stupidest article I ever read. And I could see how some people would have a negative opinion of our profession when they read that kind of crap, because that's what it is. It's pure crap. Because the real story, and I'm not saying Ted knew the real story, he might have, but the fact was the company paid these people to come over to bring their downlines with them. They knew they had a large network, and that's what they wanted. That's what they wanted. They wanted that network of distributors. You get thousands of distributors. They knew it was going to bring a lot of business, so they paid them $1 million up front. And that was how they made $1 million their first month. But can you imagine the people reading that article that are so naive, and that would be the majority of the people that are reading it, and to believe that you can join a network marketing company and earn $1 million your first month? Ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But the thing about it is, those people are probably thinking, what's the secret in their sauce? What did they got? I got to buy their book, man. Yeah, that's right. That's another way they're going to make money too. Because that's what I'm saying. Believe very little of what you hear when it comes in, what you hear and what you see. What you hear and what you see. Believe very little of it. And that's the reason why you don't need to compare yourself to others. Stay focused on what you're doing. Don't overthink it. The fact is, some people might get to a ranked position quicker than you. It doesn't matter. The important thing is that you get there. If they get there sooner, so what? Doesn't matter. The fact is, when you get there, it's going to be yours, and you earned it. But you're not going to get there if you overthink it. You know, now here's another thing is the social media rock stars and network marketing, you know, some of them. Okay, so here's the thing. You know, when social media was more of a phenomena than an everyday occurrence, you know, it was a lot different. I mean, when Facebook Lives came out, when was that? 3-4 years ago? I'm not even sure. 3-4 years ago? Okay, so there was a lot of fascination that people had. Today, there's so much freaking noise. You know, I had an interesting conversation with someone today, and he may be on this call right now. I don't know. So no offense if you are. Okay, but I'm gonna get some water in just a minute because I sweated out in that sauna behind me. But anyway, he made the comment because he sells systems and all that, and I didn't know him. But anyway, nice guy though. But he made the comment, yeah, you've been full-time 28 years ago, but what you did 28 years ago doesn't work. I don't remember my exact answer, but it was like, bull crap. It does work. Everything I did 28 years ago, if you're not doing that today, you're not going to make it in this business. Because people got it down now. They think it's all about showing up as a phony in social media. And I know some of the social media rock stars, and they spend $10,000 a month, $15,000, $20,000 a month in advertising. Is that duplicatable? Can you do that? Do you want to spend that kind of money? Now, they got started when social media was more of a phenomena, not an everyday occurrence. Now, people are bombarded with data. They're bombarded. And how many people have ever duplicated out of, that are doing what those people are doing? Very few, if any. I'm proud of the fact that I have over 100 people in my team that are millionaires. But I promise you, they never did it through social media. We use this as a way to support people. But as far as using it is in terms of attraction marketing, and we build monstrous downlines, overnight by spending monstrous amounts of money, and you can do that. No, we don't waste our time on it. We won't. I wouldn't do it. So the thing about it is, I'm not saying you cannot find good people. What I'm saying is they've removed the process. The guy says, well, what you did 28 years ago doesn't work. Oh, people aren't important anymore. People aren't important. Devices are important. You are not important. You will be replaced by AI. Conversations are not important anymore. People are irrelevant. Really. What I did 28 years ago, those things do not matter. People didn't matter. Conversations didn't matter. Relationships did not matter. So now it's all about being a fake phony, copy paste messages, spam people, show up on Facebook, do what our social media rock stars do, try to be like them. We're going to overthink it. We're going to overthink this thing, try to sound like them, look like them. But why am I not getting the likes and views? Why are people not joining me? Look, they got 10, 20,000 people in their downline. Because they spend $20,000 a month advertising. Here's the thing. You get back to the basics. Yeah, and I told that guy, I said, I'll compare my income to anybody out there that's trying to do this in social media, and I'll laugh all the way to the bank, because I never built my business that way. It was always about the people. It was always about the relationships. It was always about having a conversation with somebody, the bond, getting together, eating together, going to places together, doing events together. Try to replace that with gadgets and systems and the fake phony stuff on social media. Good luck. So again, don't overthink it and don't do those things, okay? You can find great people in Facebook and Instagram. I'm not saying these are not useful tools. I'm saying if you throw out some of the things, I even did a recent live, last week on that, about creating conversations. You have to do that. If you want to be successful, you're going to have to create the conversations. And then that's going to in turn create the relationships. Facebook is a great way, Instagram a great way, or even Facebook groups, in finding great people out there. But at the end of the day, you can't overthink it. You can't worry about how you look when you're reaching out to strangers. Or how is she going to feel and think about me? I don't even know her. So take that to heart. Don't compare yourself to others. You're totally awesome. You are the only you out there, and you're good enough. And I promise you that when you show up consistently in Facebook, in Instagram, whatever you use, if you do it consistently and just be you, you're going to draw a lot of people that are just like you out there, because they can relate to you. So don't overthink it. So have a great time with your families tomorrow. And I'll catch back up with you. Yeah, Friday. How about that Q&A? Come up with some good questions, okay? And I'm not talking about being clever, really. I mean, if there's some things that you really would like to get my thoughts on, I'll be happy to do that. I appreciate all of you joining me tonight in my gym. I love all you guys. Stay safe in what you do. Have fun tomorrow. Bye-bye.